You set up an API gateway in front of your Lambda function, and you configure it to act as a proxy. Looks good, right? Requests come in, API gateway forwards them, and you expect that your Lambda runs smoothly. But then expectation doesn't meet reality. Suddenly, you're getting errors, missing headers, or your frontend starts complaining about CORS issues. Here's the catch. When API gateway is set up as a proxy, it stops handling things like CORS, response formatting, and headers. That entire responsibility now shifts onto your Lambda function. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix this by structuring your Lambda responses the right way, with status codes, headers, and CORS included. Once you've got this in place, your API gateway proxy setup will finally work smoothly with your frontend. All the example code and resources you will need are linked down below in the description in our series Github repository. My name is Juan Simon, developer at Xinitry, and this is part of my From Zero to Production on AWS series, where I don't give you tutorials, I give you real-world solutions to real-world problems. Okay, so now let us understand this problem visually. Here is our setup. We have got an API gateway configured in proxy mode, forwarding requests directly onto our Lambda. It's important to have clear that API gateway in proxy mode acts as a pass-through. So our Lambda has the entire responsibility to manage the request. And if Lambda doesn't return exactly what's expected with the right headers and the right structure, your frontend immediately breaks. You'll see missing headers, CORS issues, and failed requests, even though your Lambda logic is actually fine. The fix is simple, but essential. Your Lambda has to return the full response, status code, headers, and body every single time. Once you handle that inside of your Lambda, API gateway will just forward it as is and everything works smoothly again. So let's go and build this in the console. Okay, this is a quick one. So let's head over to Lambda to create the Lambda function that is going to run once we call our API. So let's call this Xinitry API just for demonstration. Select the correct runtime. In our case, I'm going to choose Python and use either an existing role, or you can also use the basic Lambda execution role that is created by default. Once we have created our function, we're going to now go over to API Gateway to create our API. In our case, we're going to use REST API because in the next video, we're going to talk about how to add authorization to it. So if you want to follow along, make sure to also use REST API. Otherwise, you can also use HTTP API. Just hit create, and we're going to create a resource called Hello World. But before we do that, make sure to activate CORS, and now we can enter the resource name. So create the resource, and now we have to create a method inside that resource. To do so, we have to select the just created resource and hit the create method button. We're going to select the get method because we're just making a hello world. Activate the Lambda proxy integration and select the Lambda that we just previously created. After that, scroll down and create the method. Now, after the method is created, you can deploy your API either on an existing stage or create a new one as I am doing right now. Now, let's go back to our Lambda and configure it so it returns the right things. For that, we have to make a little change in the return statement of the Lambda handler. So let us create a global variable called headers and let Amazon Q autocomplete it. But I'm going to explain you what's happening here. Firstly, we've got the access control allow origin, which basically means which origins are allowed to call the API. For now, we're going to leave the star. That means that every origin is allowed, but you can also put in your custom website URL. Then we've got the methods, where we can put in which methods are allowed in the request. For example, post, put, or delete if you need them. But if you don't, just leave it as a get, and don't forget to always include the options method. Now let's talk about the headers. Here we need to always include the content type, since it's a basic header that is included in every request. And if you want to add authorization later on, make sure to add the authorization header here too. Last but not least, the content type is going to be application JSON, as every other API. Now, the only thing that is left to do is to include the headers in the return statement. So after the status code, add a comma and paste in this line of code. Now, deploy your API and go back to API Gateway. Here, the only thing that we are going to do is to copy the invoke URL to be able to go over to Postman and create a new request. Make sure that it's get method and paste your endpoint. Don't forget to add your resource at the very end of your API endpoint. So let's go and try this out. As you can see, we're getting our hello world from Lambda. Alright, that's it. If you're building on AWS and you have hit roadblocks like this, consider subscribing so you don't miss the next solution in the series. And if there is a specific AWS challenge you'd like me to cover, drop it in the comments. It might just be the focus of our next video.